And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another week, another edition here of the OSC Elite Rising Star number 16, day number 2. I'm of course your side VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chats, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to a very special tournament, a tournament that is designed to prop up, to showcase, and to bring you all the rising stars in StarCraft 2. Here we go. Again, we did cover day 1 last week. Again, this is, we're coming back on a weekly basis. I say we, it does depend. Sometimes it's going to be us here on the CranKy Ducklings, sometimes Steadfast, Chicken Man, Wardy, some of the other casters out there as well. For the time being, we are stepping in to fill in the role of covering this tournament, at least for the first 2 editions, for the first 2 days. Again, these matches are played on a weekly basis, and now we are back coming into that second broadcast of OSC. Let's go. When it comes to the matches overall, last week we had 10 best of 3s. It was crazy. We had 10 best of 3s back to back. Here we have 7 best of 3s ready for you, all in one broadcast. Likewise, when it comes to the bracket, let's have a look together. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves. It's a massive bracket featuring so many players, and no one has been eliminated yet. Bearing in mind, it is double elimination. From the top, you can see last week's matches. We covered Art versus Yomek. We had F2 Click versus Art. We have Shameless versus Art. We had Inexorable, Sebestes, Hydra, Percival, Sig as well, Mindo VK. Scrolling down a little bit further here, we are featuring Moja, Mini Zerg, Baby Marine, Night Phoenix. We had a lot of matches we covered last week, and essentially we're coming in to wrap up the first round of the upper bracket. Bearing in mind that if you're a fan of some of the players who got knocked down, some of the big names like Shameless got knocked down, Inexorable got knocked down, Eva got knocked down, Night Phoenix got knocked down. They're still in this tournament. They're still in the lower bracket. You can see here we have the lower bracket matches. They have still not been played out, of course. They're going to be played out in the near future, but the lower bracket is still here. We still have so much more of the tournament to go through. Bearing in mind, every single series is going to be casted, which is why it takes so long. It's going to take a couple of, maybe like 2 months to get through the tournament, maybe around 2 months. But here we're going to be featuring the remaining matches here in that first round. We have Homeowner versus Papi. We have Hatsu versus Mixu. I believe we're going to be covering the winner of Hatsu and Mixu up against Nickrat, the winner of Homeowner and Papi up against Art as well. Scrolling down, UD Soldier and Demi. Winner goes up against Young Yakov. I believe we have Jimmy versus Baby Marine as well. So a lot of these matches, a lot of these first round and second round matches that have yet to be played out are going to be featured today. Going to be featured here today to wrap up the first 2 rounds of the tournament. Oh boy. Up first, we have Mixu and Hatsu. We have a rare matchup that I feel like we only ever get to cast in big tournaments. Like we ever have a big event where we see Solar versus Shin, for example, at DreamHack Dallas, or Solar versus Shin again, or Solar versus Serral at EWC. I feel like we only ever get to see them in these big tournaments. ZvZs are a rare side outside of that, so happy to jump into a Zerg vs Zerg matchup here and now. Let's go. Let us go. So we have our first matchup. We have our first best of 3. Also, to all those in the chat, welcome. Bienvenidos, papi, bienvenidos. Shout out to Babylings who got the first Quacker. Shout out to, I see Psychons, I see MW as well. Bienvenidos, as we are jumping into our first best of. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Lem. It is Mixu. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the pink Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Hatsu. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our ZvZ. Oh boy. So Mixu coming into this is going to be the favorite player for sure. We do have a slightly different opener here, going for an extractor trick. Mixu opening up hatch first. Hatsu going for a standard hatch gas pool setup. So our openers are what we're going to be settling in, and we'll see what Hatsu brings to the table. Hatsu is going to be coming in as the underdog, and often we do see some cheeky all-ins and some cheeky builds. So I'm looking forward to something more quirky out of Hatsu. Mixu is willing to shake things up. I don't know if Mixu needs to, but is willing to nonetheless. So far, we're just getting into our openers, getting into our gas geysers, getting into our setup. Of course, working on Ultra Love. Ultra Love does have a shoulder rush distance spike round, so these early Lingbane pressure, the early lane break pressure, the early roach aggression as well can hit even faster on Ultra Love, so that is going to be factoring in. That's may come into play in this match as well. It's a bit of a rarer side to see a more passive back and forth, getting into roaches, getting into 3 bases, maxing out, and getting into roach versus roach. That is a rare side, but at the same time I say that, I'm typically covering a lot of the Korean Zerg players, where they're very much so in each other's faces. I'm assuming that's going to be the case here, but we'll see. We'll see. They get you out of the shot. Quack, lovely quack. Oh, bom dia to doom. Bom dia. But yes, yesterday we were live with the RSL qualifier, and I went straight to... Fun fact, yesterday, I think I slept... I say yesterday, Saturday, I think I slept a solid 12 hours. Went to bed. I just did not wake up. Did not wake up. It was good. I can't remember the last time I've slept this long. Like 10 to 12 hours. I was just out of it. It's beautiful. It was beautiful. That's my sleep for the week. That's no. Now back to full-time casting. Let's go. Bearing in mind that later on tonight we do have the podcast. That's going to be this evening. We'll be live at the podcast. Till then, we have our OSC tournaments. So far, we have our Baliness here out of Mixu, getting a third base. Everything's looking normal. Getting a third base, getting his Baliness, droning on up. Hatsu behind this is going to be skipping her Baliness. Okay, we're taking an extra gas, guys. Or extra gas. We're rolling up on 2 bases. We're going into what looks to be 2-base Roach. Now, technically, we could go into a faster lair and go into 2-base Muta. You can see Mixu trying to get a scout in the lair. Oh, gets in. Yeah, Mixu does barely slip in. It does get a full scout. Does confirm no lair, also does confirm the second gas as well. Without there being an earlier lair, with link speed being skipped, this does look like roach play. Otherwise, the lair would have already been on the way to get into Spire and get into Mutas as quickly as possible. As the lair is just now being started. Is being started after the fact. Technically, it's possible that Hatsu wanted to actually preserve the lair until after the Zergling had been killed. Also possible. Just to avoid the scout. But we have range on the way. Again, more indicative here that we're committing into 2-base Roach. Getting into range. Mixu is droning up. And it's going to be up to Mixu to drone up to somewhat saturate the third. Not oversaturate. You don't want to oversaturate. Bearing in mind, there's a very high chance that Hatsu's going to turn this into a 2-base all-in. So you don't want to over-drone. You want to saturate enough to maintain an economic lead over your opponent that's playing 2-base. And then out-macro them. Getting into a greater Roach army. That is the hope. Well, Hatsu getting into 1-1 upgrades. We'll have that upgrade advantage. Black will soon be getting into Roach Speed as well. We got Roach Speed is on the way. Roach Speed is on the way. Mixu's doubling down. Getting up to 48 workers, droning up a little bit more here, getting up to 50 drones. I think this is kind of where you want to be stopping, at around 50 workers. As Mixu does have that economic lead. Overseer going in. Mixu needs to confirm there's no Spire. You can see here going further behind the mineral line, make sure there is no Spire, there are no mutas. Now skirting back around. We have a third EVA chamber. That might be a bit of a misclick there, as you already have 1-1 on the way. Here we go for the changeling. Oh, right. She's going to kill the... Yeah, true. Never mind. Not a mistake. It is to break through... I didn't realize it was a full wall. Just a complete wall. So, third EVA chamber, just start +2. To get into 2-2 upgrades. And then move out. They didn't register in my mind that there was just no way out. We have link speed. That is a little bit odd. Getting to link speed here means that Hatsu's going to be able to reinforce with Zerglings. But the problem is, the longer this game goes on, the worse it is for Hatsu. Yes, we have the upgrade advantage, that is true, but remember, the economy here is still far greater for Mixu, and Mixu is building up a larger army as a result. Upgrades are good, but the numbers and straight up supply here is better. So Hatsu is on a timer. The other reason why I brought up link speed is that because of link speed, it also means that there is no... I mean, that does cost an extra roach. Extra couple of roaches and zerglings are not going to be a factor in this fight. Has to back off. The window is come and gone at this point. The window is come and gone. If you want to hit, if you're going to go 2 base all in, then you're going to be so crisp with this. There is no third, so Hatsu's being outscaled over time. Mixu is supply blocked. Mixu just commits. And just commits in, so it's forward. Gets some of the roaches, gets some of the ravagers, and yeah, Mixu, he will just overwhelm. Again, any kind of timing that we were going for, it's not there. Not anymore. No shots. Upgrades are on the way, but they're not really going to kick in, and with that, Hatsu will lose the entire army. Mixu goes in, GG gets called, and Mixu will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Solid response out of Mixu again. Didn't over-drone, didn't over-respond. Also avoided any kind of Evo chambers. Went purely vanilla Roach Ravager. And again, as the game went longer and longer, it was getting worse and worse for Hatsu. When you go for this kind of 2-base play, you gotta be fast, you gotta be crisp, you gotta be on top of that timing. Otherwise, you miss it. Otherwise, you miss it, and then that's it. It's miss it, then it's one and done there. When it comes to the opportunity to find some damage and to get across the map, GG. GG, well played. With that, we are getting into game number 2, and we'll see if Hatsu can bring it back. We'll see if we go for a different kind of approach, or if we tighten up our build and be more aggressive and more assertive. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pylon, we have the blue Zerg player, We have the Finnish Zerg. Oh, it's leading the series 1-0. It is Mixu. Oh, let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the pink Zerg player going for the 12 pool. This is what we are here for. For the Platinum Heroes, it is Hatsu. Let's go. Let's go. As we do have our spawning pool on the way. Mixu once again is going for the Extractor Drake. It is going to be going for a hatch gas pool opener, but in a bit of a different manner. That hatchery. And we'll see how Mixu can react and can respond to this. When you commit to a 12 pool, oh, actually, my apologies, not just a 12 pool. We're going for a 12 pool into an early gas geyser. This is a lot more committed here. Okay. This is not a 13-12, bear that in mind, but this is meant to mimic a 12 pool and then catch your opponent off guard. Remember, a 12 pool is not an all-in. A 12 pool is technically a macro opener, where you open up, you want to get some damage done across the map, then you expand behind it. But with the early gas, it means that Hatsu's more committed. Are we going for the Bane Bust? Okay, drone moves down to expand. Again, with the gas income, we can get into link speed. Hatsu does move out. Does move out across the map. Mixu is now aware. Mixu spots all the Zerglings. And Mixu can fight for his natural. Zerglings have arrived. Link speed is on the way. Hatsu pulls out of gas, so we're not going for a Baneley nest behind this. Just purely link speed as a follow-up. And that is going to be a faster link speed timing here for Hatsu. Sure. Hatchery's under fire. Queens are on the way. Zerglings as well. And again, Mixu can pull the boys. And there we go. The boys are being pulled. We do leave up 5 drones behind. And with this, Mixu can fight those Zerglings. Oh, he even gets us around. Oh my god. Crazy. Again, cannot fight head on. Has to be very careful with his control. Mixu pulling back. And Mixu's held. Yeah, Mixu at this point has held on. But remember, it isn't about the first wave of Zerglings, it's about the link speed timing. Link speed is halfway done, and Hatsu is not joining. Hatsu is massing up Zerglings, getting ready for a link flood. So we are massing up, we're getting ready. Hatsu has yet to reveal her hand. Until this moment, Mixu does what the reinforcements now knows. Yeah, Mixu knows. Mixu is now aware. Back at home, we need to set up. Mixu has been droning. Has been droning up. No spine crawlers. Of course, can still pull the boys. Mixu pulling back to the queens. Fights for... There we go. Does turn around. The queen does come down from the high ground. The hatchery is so low. Mixu's gonna fight for it. Link speed kicks in. Yeah, boys are being pulled. I appreciate that Mixu didn't go back into the main base. Mixu has maintained a very high drone count low ground to be able to pull them when need be. Speaking of, the boys are being pulled. One queen does not go down. And even though Hatsu has the greater Zerglings, I mean, now we're up to 3 queens. Yeah, we're up to 3 queens. The drones, they did not go down. The hatchery survives, and Mixu holds. Mixu holds on. Shuts down the all-in. Has a massive economy behind this. And didn't even invest into spine crawlers, which is what I'm most impressed by. No spines, later Bailey Nest. Just pure positional play, just ensuring that had the boys to be pulled, brought down a 3rd queen. Kited back when needed to. Has a transfuse, and the single queen goes down. Very clean defense. Mixu lost what? 0 drone. I assumed Mixu lost 1 drone just because there's only 15 here on the low ground, but no, not a single drone went down. Mixu. And now it's time to counterattack. Hatsu is desperately trying to go into a Bailey Nest. Behind this has not been droning. We made 1 drone. There's 13 drones back at home. That there is no economy. Mixu expanding, getting a 3rd base. Now, technically, with some well-placed Banelings, it is possible here for Hatsu to overwhelm the Ling Bane of Mixu, to take a better fight, and to maybe get on top of the queens, maybe even get on top of the hatchery, but these are Banelings, though. Yeah, the Baileys are not going to finish. Some of them will. The rest of the army is going to be zoned away. Baileys are finishing up. Baileys, they do trade. Mixu, does trigger the Bailing. Does rush past. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was confused for a moment there. As Mixu holds. Mixu holds on. Hatsu has to rebuild those Banelings. Behind this, Hatsu making a drone here and there. It's not a good time to be droning, but I mean, what else can we do? Let's Mixu defense well. Mixu defense well, catches a queen. Does catch Queen. Defensively, there are no Banelings, right? There's just no Banelings to defend, so Mixu could just overwhelm. Spine Call is on the way, that will help, but here come the Banelings. Massive connections, gets into the mineral line. And GG. GG gets called. Mixu will claim the series, and Mixu will advance on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Impressive performance there by Mixu. Very clean defense against the 12 pool with the follow-up Link Flood as well. Again, the Link Flood was like the twist of that build, the follow-up that was meant to catch Mixu with his pants down. But again, very impressive Mixu being able to pull down that 3rd queen. Even before that, kiting back when needed to, pull the boys when needed to. Didn't lose a single drone, didn't lose any queens either. Was trading out Zerglings, but these are trades that Mixu could afford. And Mixu even barely saved the hatchery as well. Very impressive. After that defense, I mean, that was kind of game then and there. So GG, well played. Mixu does claim the series. Shout out to Hatsu, and again, Hatsu will be still competing in the tournament. Is going to be knocked down to the lower bracket, where Hatsu will have the opportunity to recover, to bounce back, and to have another chance in another series. Meanwhile, before I get ahead of myself, did occur during the game, but a big shout out to HMoney007 in the chat. God, my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime for the first time. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. I do apologize for not giving you a shout out during the game, but didn't want to take away from the game itself. But thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Aye. Good night, greetings. Manuel. Buenos dias. As we are getting ready for our next series, so congratulations to Mixu. It does claim the series and does advance on to face off against who? To face off against Nickratch, another Platinum Heroes player. Nickratch was patiently waiting for the winner of the previous match, and we have a Terran versus Zerg matchup. This one is going to be a little more competitive here. I would say that Nickratch and Mixu are closer in skill. I think I actually favor Nickratch coming into this matchup, but we'll see. We shall see as we get into game one. Game one is going to be on Maganap.